Episode 4's trailer wastes no time, showing us that Tommy is reaching a point of no return. The moment he learns about Miguel making moves behind his back, something changes in him. You can almost feel the fury building. The kind of fury that only Tommy Egan can carry. He's already been juggling the Serbs, CBI, Vic's shady double-crossing, Claudia's unpredictable power grab, and the non-stop rising threat of Ortega. But Miguel teaming up with the wrong people? That's the step too far. And now Tommy isn't just angry, he's determined. The trailer hints at Tommy storming straight toward Miguel's territory, and honestly, it makes perfect sense. Miguel has been testing the limits for too long, and partnering with Ortega is the final straw. Tommy has always tried to keep his deals clean, but he never hesitates when someone betrays him. The way he walks in the promo, calm, cold, ready, it shows he's not just coming to talk. He's coming to remind everyone why Chicago should fear him. And this time, he doesn't care who stands in the way. But what makes the situation even more intense is the conflict happening inside Tommy's own circle. Diamond letting DMac join CBI lights a fuse Tommy wasn't ready for. Tommy's instinct to protect his nephew has always been his soft spot, and seeing DMac dive deeper into the game scares him in a way nothing else does. And now, with all the wars building at once, Tommy knows DMac's life is one mistake away from ending. The promo shows Tommy furious, but behind that anger is fear. The kind of fear he never shows, except when it comes to family. At the same time, Vic is caught in the most dangerous position of his life. Both Stacy and Tommy want information from him. And Vic being Vic, he tries to play both sides. But in the trailer, when Tommy presses that gun against him, you can see it. Vic realizes he's run out of places to hide. The guy always finds a way to survive. But this time, survival means choosing a side. And we all know if it comes down to Tommy or Stacy, Vic will pick the man who can end him in one heartbeat. Meanwhile, Claudia is done playing small roles. Her line in the promo, saying she still has moves left, proves she's ready to step into the battlefield, even if it means going head-to-head with Ortega and Tommy. That kind of confidence means she's either hiding something big or planning something reckless. Knowing Claudia, probably both. She's always been underestimated, but now she's growing into someone who could tip the whole war in a new direction. Shanti and Jardin are also stepping back into the chaos. Jard is tired of living under Diamond's leadership, and the trailer hints he's ready to grab back control of the CBI by any means necessary. With DMac entering the picture, Diamond trying to keep peace, and Tommy juggling too many enemies, Jard making his move now could completely break whatever fragile order they have left. And this brings everything back to the biggest question of Episode 4. What happens when Tommy confronts Miguel? The trailer shows Tommy walking in with pure fury, and Miguel trying to stand his ground. But history has shown us, Miguel has never been able to overpower Tommy. And if Miguel breaks his promise to Maria, Tommy will break every alliance he ever made with him. The trailer doesn't show us the full clash, but the tension is so thick, you can almost feel the explosion coming. Episode 4 is building toward a turning point, where trust collapses, alliances crack, and the real war finally begins. And the moment Tommy and Miguel stand face to face again, someone is going to lose control. And someone might lose everything. Episode 4 is shaping up to expose the darkest alliances forming under everyone's noses, and the trailer makes it clear. Some characters are done waiting and are now ready to strike. One of the most surprising partnerships brewing in the shadows is the growing connection between Miguel and Ortega. Even though the promo doesn't spell it out directly, the tension around Miguel's decisions says everything. Miguel is desperate, cornered from all angles, and when people like him feel trapped, they make reckless, life-changing choices. And teaming up with Ortega is exactly the kind of mistake that will push Tommy over the edge. Now that Miguel is losing his grip on his empire, he's looking for someone who can help him keep control. Ortega appears to be that option. Ruthless, strategic, and hungry for expansion. But what Miguel fails to understand is that Ortega doesn't make partnerships. He makes opportunities for himself. If Miguel chooses not to see that, he's signing up for a betrayal worse than anything Tommy has ever done to him. And when Tommy learns about this alliance, and he will learn, there's only one thing he's going to do: confront Miguel with a level of fury we haven't seen since Ghost days. The trailer also hints that the Serbs will become a major factor in episode 4. After Tommy sealed that deal in the last episode, the Serbs are more than ready to go to war with Ortega, and honestly, they're itching for revenge. Tommy knows how to use their anger to his advantage, and that's exactly what he plans to do. With the Serbs behind him and CBI already stretched thin, Tommy suddenly finds himself with a dangerous amount of support. And when a man like Tommy has both motive and muscle, someone is going to bleed. The mystery is who gets hit first, Miguel or Ortega. Meanwhile, inside the CBI, trouble is brewing again. Jard is tired of waiting for his moment, and episode 4 might be where he pushes back. The trailer doesn't show much, but his silence is loud. He's watching Diamond closely, and now with DMac proving himself, Jard is worried he's losing his chance to reclaim control. When ambition mixes with jealousy, it turns into a monster, and Jard is slowly becoming one. If he chooses to make his move now, he could break the unity that Tommy and Diamond fought so hard to keep alive. And once the CBI cracks, every alliance Tommy has could fall apart. But the most unpredictable character in all of this is still Claudia. The way she boldly claims she still has moves left proves she's dangerous, underestimated, and ready to build her own kingdom. Losing Ortega's protection only pushed her harder. The assassination attempt opened her eyes, and now she's handling prison like a playground for power. She's gathering followers, building connections, and preparing for her return. Tommy and Ortega might be focused on the big war outside, but Claudia is building an entire battlefield of her own. And once she steps back into the streets, everything will shift again. Amid all these explosive tensions, Vic is standing at a crossroads he can't avoid. Stacy wants him to spy, Tommy wants him to obey, and Vic wants to survive. The trailer shows him drowning between these two forces, trying to keep both happy, but that gun to his throat reveals the truth. Vic no longer has a choice. Stacy doesn't scare him the way Tommy does. And once he gives Tommy the information he wants, the war will tilt in Tommy's favor, setting up the ultimate confrontation between him and Miguel. All of these alliances, forced, broken, or twisted, are building toward the same ending. War is coming, and episode 4 will be the first strike. Chicago has always been a battlefield in Power Book 4, Force, but in episode 4, the trailer makes it clear that the city is reaching a point where every block, every corner, and every crew is seconds away from exploding. The balance Tommy has been trying to keep together is collapsing faster than he can control it, and every character is making moves that only add fuel to the fire. The episode feels like a storm gathering speed, slow at first, but unstoppable once it hits. And from the look of the trailer, this storm is about to swallow everyone. The first crack in the city comes from Tommy's growing paranoia. Up until now, he's managed to stay 2 steps ahead, reading every threat before it reached his door. But the Miguel Ortega situation is shaking him in a way even he can't hide. Tommy doesn't do fear, but he does rage. And when he feels betrayed, that rage becomes terrifying. The way he stalks through the trailer, the way he looks at people who cross him, the way he seems ready to snap at even Diamond, all of it shows he's running out of patience, and everyone around him can see it. Tommy is losing trust, losing calm, and losing the grip he once had on Chicago. And when a man like him feels cornered, the entire city pays the price. Diamond, on the other hand, is trying to keep the CBI stable, but the pressure is eating at him. He thought bringing DMac into the crew would show loyalty, unity, and strength. But instead, it's pulling him into Tommy's wrath. In the trailer, Diamond tries to calm things down, but you can tell he's afraid. Afraid of losing Tommy, afraid of Jardin turning against him, and afraid that the decisions he thought were smart might destroy everything he built. And the worst part? He knows Jardin is watching, waiting for him to slip. Diamond is juggling loyalty, leadership, and survival all at once, but the weight is getting too heavy. DMac, meanwhile, is experiencing the dark side of leveling up. After proving himself in episode 3, he stepped into a world he wasn't truly prepared for. The The trailer shows Tommy yelling, Diamond defending, and DMac standing at the center of the conflict. He wants to prove he's capable, that he isn't a kid anymore. But episode 4 will force him to realize that joining the game isn't just about respect, it's about staying alive. And now that Tommy has no choice but to let him in, DMac is stepping into a future filled with blood, secrets, and danger he doesn't fully understand. Tommy knows it. Diamond knows it. And DMac is about to learn it the hard way. Then there's Vic, trapped under the weight of his own decisions. Every time he tries to stay ahead, he sinks deeper. The trailer shows him nearly choking as Tommy presses a gun against him, and that moment says everything. Vic is losing control of his life. He's torn between Stacy's political ambition and Tommy's street power, stuck as a pawn in a game where he keeps choosing the wrong move. And yet somehow, he still finds a way to slither out of danger. But this time feels different, like one more mistake could cost him more than loyalty. It could cost him his life. Claudia's impact on the episode is also growing stronger. Even behind bars, she's becoming a force, building her own influence and refusing to be broken. That moment in the trailer where she speaks confidently about having more moves left proves she's evolving into someone much more dangerous. She's no longer the insecure Flynn trying to keep up with the game. She is the game. And when she gets out, and she will get out, she might become the wild card that destroys every plan Tommy and Ortega have. A woman with nothing to lose is more dangerous than any gang. And Claudia is learning that truth fast. Meanwhile, Ortega is gaining power in the shadows, watching everyone fall apart while he strengthens his own empire. The trailer doesn't show much of him, which is exactly why he's the biggest threat. A quiet enemy is the deadliest one. And with Miguel getting desperate, Ortega gains leverage. He knows Miguel needs him, he knows Tommy is occupied, and he knows the city is vulnerable. Episode 4 might be the moment Ortega decides to strike hard, sending Chicago into full-blown chaos. All of this leads to the biggest turning point. Tommy versus Miguel isn't just a personal fight. It's the spark that might ignite a war across the entire city. Every crew, every leader, every alliance is cracking under the pressure. And once Tommy makes his move, Chicago will never be the same again. The entire season has been building toward one inevitable moment, and Episode 4's trailer makes it crystal clear. Tommy and Miguel are finally on a direct collision course, and this time there's no middle ground, no negotiation, and no going back. Both men have reached their limit, both have been pushed into corners they never wanted to be in, and now their anger is turning into something far more dangerous. Purpose. The trailer doesn't show the full confrontation, but the energy around their looming clash is so strong that you can feel it through every scene. Tommy's rage has a different edge this time. Whenever Tommy is betrayed, he reacts fast, but when the betrayal comes from someone he tried to work with, someone he tried to respect, that betrayal hits harder. Miguel's deal with Ortega is exactly that kind of wound. Tommy is not just angry at the decision. He's angry at the disrespect. It's one thing to challenge Tommy openly. It's another to do it behind his back and pretend the partnership is still solid. That's what Miguel did. And Tommy doesn't forget things like that. He doesn't forgive them either. The trailer shows Tommy walking with a level of determination that tells you he already made his decision. He's confronting Miguel head-on. And the reason it feels so intense is because Tommy is approaching this situation not just as a leader, but as a man who's tired of being played with. He's lost too much, fought too hard, and watched too many people try to undermine him. Every time someone pushes him, he pushes back twice as hard. But when someone threatens what he's built, his crew, his city, his family, Tommy becomes unstoppable. Episode 4 will show exactly that version of him. Miguel, on the other hand, is slipping. You can clearly see the panic growing behind his eyes. He's trying to be confident, trying to keep control, trying to act like the deal with Ortega was just a strategic move. But deep down, Miguel knows the truth. They only formed that alliance because he's losing control. He's losing power, losing influence, and losing the ability to intimidate the people around him. Miguel has always relied on fear to rule, but fear stops working when people stop being scared. And Tommy? He has never feared Miguel for a second. The moment Tommy storms into his territory in episode 4, Miguel's entire facade cracks. He tries to stand his ground. He tries to look strong. But Tommy's presence alone breaks down that front. This showdown isn't just about business. It's about dominance, pride, survival, and two men who refuse to back down. Miguel knows he's outmatched physically and strategically, but he still tries to hold on to his pride. That pride might be the exact thing that gets him hurt, or worse. What makes this confrontation even more dangerous is the woman caught in the middle, Maria. Tommy kept his distance for her sake. Miguel made promises to protect her, but if Miguel breaks that promise, if he puts Maria in danger or uses her as leverage, Tommy will unleash a fury that Chicago is not ready for. Maria is the emotional trigger in this war. She's the reason Miguel feels threatened. She's the reason Tommy hesitates, and she might be the reason this conflict becomes 10 times more violent. In episode 4, we could see the beginning of a personal war wrapped inside a street war, and those are the ones with the highest body count. Meanwhile, this confrontation casts a long shadow over the rest of Chicago. The Serbs are watching closely, ready to strike the moment they see weakness. Diamond is trying to keep peace but losing grip. Jardin is waiting for his moment to break the CBI apart. Claudia is building her own army from the inside. Ortega is getting stronger, quietly preparing for a power grab. Vic is terrified, desperate to choose the side that will keep him alive. And in the center of all this chaos stand two men, Tommy and Miguel, whose decisions will decide the fate of the entire city. If Tommy kills Miguel, Ortega will retaliate and the Serbs will join the war. If Miguel survives the confrontation, he will go after Tommy with more force than ever. Either way, there is no version of episode 4 where peace survives. The trailer makes it clear, this isn't just a disagreement, it's the start of a full-scale war. Everything in Power Book 4, Force Season 3 Episode 4 is pointing toward a moment where Chicago stops being a chessboard and turns into a battlefield. The trailer gives us small glimpses, fast cuts, sharp lines, angry faces, but the energy behind those moments tells a much bigger story. Episode 4 isn't just another chapter. It's the turning point of the entire season, the moment where every hidden agenda, every secret alliance, and every broken promise finally erupts. And once that explosion hits, nothing and no one will be the same again. The first sign of this shift comes from the tension within CBI. Diamond is struggling to keep things together, but Jardin's ambition is reaching a dangerous boiling point. You can feel it in the air. Jardin is done being patient. He's tired of sitting behind Diamond, tired of being underestimated, and tired of waiting for a chance to prove he's the real leader of Chicago's streets. With DMac entering the crew, Diamond being pulled in every direction, and Tommy demanding obedience, the cracks inside CBI are getting deeper. And deep cracks eventually turn into complete collapse. Episode 4 might be the moment where Jardin finally moves against Diamond. And if that happens, the CBI won't just be divided, it will be destroyed from the inside. This chaos gives Ortega the perfect opportunity to rise. He's watching everyone fall apart while strengthening his own empire. He's clever, calm, and patient, the exact opposite of Tommy's explosive energy or Miguel's desperation. Ortega is the type of villain who wins by waiting, and right now he's waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The trailer doesn't show much of him, which is exactly why he's so dangerous. Quiet enemies build the deadliest traps, and Ortega is positioning himself to take over Chicago while everyone else is busy fighting each other. If Miguel doesn't realize this soon, Ortega will push him out of the picture and claim his territory without firing a single warning shot. Meanwhile, Claudia's evolution is becoming one of the most thrilling parts of the season. Her confidence is growing, her influence is spreading, her anger is sharpening, and her ambition is blinding. She's no longer the fragile Flynn trying to survive. She's someone who has tasted betrayal, humiliation, and loss, and turned all of it into power. Her ability to command respect from inmates, flip alliances, and plan ahead makes her one of the most unpredictable threats in the game. Claudia is becoming her own faction, her own leader, her own danger. And once she returns, she might target Tommy, Ortega, or the entire city at once. She's playing a long game, and episode 4 will show her setting up the next stage of that plan. Vic's situation is another ticking bomb. The trailer shows how cornered he is, Tommy pressuring him, Stacy manipulating him, and his past mistakes haunting him. Vic is trying to balance two worlds that can never coexist, politics and street power. Stacy doesn't understand the game Tommy plays, and Tommy doesn't care about the rules of Stacy's world. Vic is caught in the middle of a war he can't escape. The only way to survive is to pick a side. And after seeing Tommy's rage in the trailer, it's obvious which side he'll choose. But even picking Tommy doesn't guarantee survival. It only buys Vic a little more time. And in episode 4, time is running out fast. All of these threads, CBI tension, Claudia's rise, Ortega's quiet power, Vic's desperation, are swirling around the biggest explosion of them all, Tommy versus Miguel. Their confrontation isn't just personal, it's symbolic. Tommy represents raw force, fearless, unfiltered, unwavering. Miguel represents order, structure, and the last bit of control left in the city's drug world. When these two collide, the city will choose a side whether it wants to or not. The trailer shows Tommy marching toward Miguel's territory with full confidence, and that scene alone speaks volumes. When Tommy walks like that, it means he's not coming to talk. He's coming to end something. Miguel tries to stand strong, but you can see the fear behind his eyes, the frustration in his voice, and the panic in his body language. He knows Tommy is coming for him. He knows the alliance with Ortega might not be enough, and he knows that if he doesn't make the right move now, he could lose everything he built. Episode 4 is more than just drama. It's the beginning of the real war. A war of betrayal, power, revenge, and survival. A war where every character is forced to choose, step up or get crushed. Once Tommy confronts Miguel face to face, the dominoes will fall, fast, violently, and without mercy.